right, guys, should you be summoning on the EIRLYS AEDRIN banner that is kicking off on Christmas? Originally, this video was going to look a bit different. I wanted to talk about all the virtues of EIRLYS and all the potential but also weirdness of AEDRIN, and I figured I'd put in a little showcase at the end of AEDRIN in Gear Dungeon 2 Stage 10. That's usually a good test for AoE physical damage, and show that he's capable but not that good. I figured he'd fail and it would be whatever. However, as I was setting up that test in Gear Dungeon 2 Stage 10, as I've done with many heroes in the past, in anticipation of this video and getting ready to show you guys Adrian failing, he completely and utterly crushed it. So I just finished this run. From my very first run, he was ridiculous. I think only Ardia can clear the bottom lane as easily as he does. Maybe Lycan or something. I haven't tested Lycan there, but I don't think anyone can clear it as easily as he does while also never coming close to death. He is shielded constantly. He has high health constantly. It's pretty crazy stuff. I don't want to get ahead of myself and say he's like a must-pull god tier unit, but I did want to let you know already in this Should You Summon video that over the past 2 hours, my opinion of this guy has completely and utterly changed. I thought he was going to be really, really mid. When I read through the kit, it just sounded weird. It sounded like there wasn't enough focus on damage, and all the focus was on being shielded and having high HP. He is a DPS whose damage scales off of HP, but actually, the damage is legitimately good. It really is. So we'll circle back to that, but I wanted to let you know that right out of the gate. Tomorrow, the day this banner starts, I will show you that showcase in Gear Dungeon 10 and explain all his skills in a lot of detail. We'll still review the whole kit in this video, but that will be like a full guide. But I just wanted to say he shocked me in a very good way. I had very low expectations. I thought this was going to be kind of a throwaway unit. Again, I'm not saying he's necessarily like broken god tier, but he's definitely great. And I really want to test him now in Matrix 1 with both like a King Hearts, but then like a Rivenhald and see what his real potential is. Because the damages, it's very, very significant. Wow. Okay, this is going to be a very short video. Should you summon? Absolutely. There's really no reason not to summon because we've got a good new unit, a potentially great, amazing new unit, and then we've got arguably the best healer in the game. The only people who should not summon on this banner are people that are barely scraping together the 200 summons for the exclusive lucky pick. This is more important because this is a hard guarantee. If you don't know, on a standard 20x rate up banner like the AEDRIN EIRLYS banner that we're discussing in this video, you've got about a 19% chance to hit either of the legendary units on your first legendary pulled. So it's additive cumulatively. You have a 38% chance to hit one or the other, but you don't know which one it's going to be. And it's certainly a gamble. It's just better than a 1 in 3 chance. The second legendary you're hitting, you've got like an 85% chance with the progressive that it's going to be one of those two. So if you combine that, the chance you hit on your first 2 legendaries pulled is about 90%. It's about 89.5% precisely. So if you're really interested and you're happy with either of these, you could go for 2 legendaries on this banner, but that's a huge amount of summons. So if you're just scraping it together and you might not even make 200, this is obviously the top priority. This is the bird in the hand. A lot of people don't seem to understand this. You're guaranteed to get the limited unit. This is a selector, so you choose which one it's going to be. Is it going to be Kagiri, Diao Chan, Moradin, whatever? You choose that unit, and you're guaranteed to get them within 200 summons. If you hit them on summon number 62, the guarantee was fulfilled. It doesn't mean you're going to hit them on 200. But worst case scenario, that's the point of this banner, you cannot pull more than 200 times without getting them to start the banner off, that first copy. So you are guaranteed at 200 if you go 0 for 199. And that guarantee is just something you'll never see on a standard 20x. This is the gamble. And frankly, as good as EIRLYS and AEDRIN are, certainly EIRLYS, some of these limited units that are only here once in a while are completely and utterly broken. The Kagiris of the world, the Diao Chans, the Sun Wukongs. You need those units if you don't have them, and very likely you probably still need Awakenings. I have a lot of content on this. Go watch it. So the only people I think that should not be summoning on this banner are people that barely have enough, might not have enough, just have enough. However, even if you have like 220 summons or something, you should consider this banner because pity manipulation is such a powerful thing. I have videos on this. I'll link my pity manipulation guide in the description of this video. I can make an updated guide, I probably will, for 2026 on pity manipulation. But essentially the way it works, and I'll explain quickly, but the basics in case you're a brand new player, is when you pull on one of these guaranteed banners, you're building pity the whole time the way we normally do on a certain currency type. So you're going to be using your rare summons or your diamonds, your red diamonds, in place of your rare summons. So you're building pity on all banners that use rare summons, which include this 20x banner over here. So separately on this banner, as you're pushing towards your 200 guarantee, you have like a tally underneath the banner counting up to 200. Those things are getting built concurrently, but they're not related. So as you build pity, you're building the tally, but you don't want to go use that pity on the banner if you're all the way up towards 180 already, because you already know, let's say you're at 179, 180 on your tally and on your pity, you already know you're guaranteed in 20. So you might as well take that pity, use it on this banner. That's absolutely what you should do. And then you hit a legendary there, you go back to the exclusive lucky pick, and you know you're hitting in 20, 21, wherever you left off. That's how you should approach it. It is contingent upon you not hitting early on this banner, or really hitting in the middle. That can throw it off, or hitting at like 150, you know? Go watch the videos, it will make sense. But everyone should be using this for pity manipulation. It is a very strong banner. Also, if you want to join, we are doing a big community pulls party for the exclusive Lucky Pick banner, the limited selector, along with pity manipulation on the Adrian and EIRLYS banner. So it doesn't really matter where you want to summon. If you want to summon at all tomorrow, sign up using the link in the description and the top pinned comment. It would be great. On Christmas, it's fun to have really big parties. We've done that in the past. The more, the merrier. No pun intended. Let's go. Let's start with EIRLYS. We're going to go very fast now. The video's already almost done. By the way, if you appreciate this stuff, happy Christmas, merry holidays, whatever, please subscribe to the channel, throw a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. It really goes a long way. We can wish each other Merry Christmas in the comment section, whatever you want to do. But let's start with EIRLYS. We've got a whole guide on Adrian tomorrow. The TLDR of EIRLYS, depending on the content, you can argue whether she's the best healer or like the third best healer. A lot of content, she's the best. I think she's the best healer in the game in the arena, and there's a lot of other special places too. She's phenomenal on GVG defense. She's unbelievable for progression. She has the best passive team-wide rage regeneration in the game. She ties with Elwyn on this skill. Elwyn has, I think it's called Nature Him. Oh my God, my brain just turned off. Well, keep it in. I'm usually good at remembering these skill names. Let's give me 1 second here to pull up Elwyn. Elwyn's skill is going to be Nature's Favor, excuse me. I'm like combining their two skills. Elwyn has Nature's Favor. That restores, when it's fully skilled up, 1% rage to all deployed units anywhere on the map every second. So it's 1% passive rage per second to everyone. Hymn of Prayer, this is the same thing when it's fully skilled, 1% rage per second. And allies with Serene Breath, and you'll have 2 allies on your team at any time that have Serene Breath. It's a special mark thing that EIRLYS puts out. They instead get 2% rage per second. So her baseline is the same as Elwyn, and then 2 units, and it can kind of cycle between them. It will depend on whom EIRLYS has healed last, but 2 allies at a time will be getting 2% rage per second passively. Absolutely phenomenal. On top of that, she grants physical damage reduction and magic damage reduction to those units under Serene Breath. Serene Breath lasts 10 seconds. She puts it out all the time. It goes to the last 2 units that she healed. This is a 25% damage reduction for physical and magic. Very, very, very strong. And every time she goes and heals a unit already under Serene Breath, which, by the way, will refresh the Serene Breath back to a full 10 seconds. Really good. The uptime is crazy. She's always maintaining it. She's going to give 2% rage to herself. That is very key because it allows her to ult cycle very quickly. She has an amazing ult. With her ult, she applies something called Healing Prayer. I'm not going to get too deep into it. I have a guide breakdown on EIRLYS you guys can go watch. But essentially, she's putting out this mark, and then when a unit's HP drops below 75%, it triggers, and it's this big bursty heal. So they're going to get healed by 300% of EIRLYS's attack to begin, and then 10 seconds later, they're going to be healed by 100% of her attack again. It's so strong. It's so clutch. She's really special. Clutch is a really key word as well for the other passive we have not talked about. she can, every 50 seconds, provide death immunity. You know, a full, brief, unyielding effect where the unit will ignore death. They're going to ignore an instance of fatal damage. She can apply that every 50 seconds to one ally in range. If that unit also is currently under serene breath, they'll be immune to damage for 3 seconds. This goes up to 5 seconds with skill ups. It's just so good. She has very strong awakenings as well. She's supremely meta in a ton of content. She's a must-have unit in this game. Even if you already have Elwyn, she is a must-have. I will say if you already have Elwyn and you're earlier on in the game, I don't think you need a rush to go get EIRLYS, but eventually, once you reach the late game and certainly the end game, you're going to want both. And I use EIRLYS more than Elwyn nowadays, but it just depends what content you're currently focused on. But she is supremely good. And by the way, 2 incredible factions, Watcher and Northerner. If we go back to Adrian now, we're going to go super fast because I'm doing a full guide on him tomorrow. You guys will see this on Christmas, but he is just a unit. First off, he looks really cool. I feel like this design, he's definitely going to be someone's favorite hero design in the game now. Let me know if that's you in the comments. But there's a lot going on in this kit. That's why he needs a full guide. TLDR, he's a damage dealer whose damage scales off of HP. He's got a pretty good damage stat. It's not crazy, but it's definitely good. Just under 25k, 24,674. The defense is actually pretty good too. I will say 1 knock against him. If this attack interval was faster, so it's at 3.5 seconds at base. If this was 2.6 seconds, then I would be really excited about this guy. I'm already excited, but I would be really excited. Nice kit. His rage regen based off of his basic attacks is slightly low. I guess that's also worth pointing out. But he is a multi-target AoE physical damage dealing fighter. He's only in 1 faction. He's just a Northerner. He puts shields on himself. He has this interesting ability over here where every 30 seconds when this is skilled up, he's going to convert 50% of his damage taken within 6 seconds into a shield. So he's going to take all that damage he took the past 6 seconds, make a nice shield, and it's going to stack up to 30% of his HP. It can be a very, very strong shield. It has a cooldown of 30 seconds with skill ups, and every time he does an enhanced basic attack, we'll go back to the talent in a second so you understand that, he's going to reduce the cooldown on this. All in all, he actually does reduce the cooldown a good bit. If you build him, you'll build him probably a little faster, but let's say you build him with a 2-second attack interval. Outside of his ultimate, he's going to do an enhanced basic attack every 4 attacks. So every 8 seconds, he's going to do an enhanced basic, which is a big amount of damage, and it will knock a second off of this. So if you do some math, basically it turns the cooldown on this into about 26 seconds. But it gets really good when he's ulting because then he does the enhanced basic attacks every other turn. So then effectively every 4 seconds, he's going to knock 1 second off. So it's going to look something like every 22 seconds he can trigger this ability. And it is really clutch. Between this ability and then bringing someone like a Gwendolyn or a Vortex and then any of the Northerner Lords, he has crazy high uptime on his shields, which is really important to his kit. He kind of needs to be shielded. His damage scales off of HP. When his HP is above 30%, instead of chipping away at the shield, if he is shielded, it's going to chip away at the HP under the shield. That will change once he's under 30%. Then it hits into the shield. This is pretty clutch, though, because you want his shield to be as big as possible for as long as possible, and you want it to stay up. When he's shielded, the damage he takes will be reduced by 20%. Now, this is the part with the basic attacks. Every 4th basic is this enhanced attack that deals 300% damage when he's shielded. However, if you get his exclusive artifact, which everyone should, it is a free crafting event right now, that condition is gone. So he doesn't need to be shielded to do the enhanced basics. That is essential. His exclusive artifact is a must-have if you want to use him. So it's every 4 basics, he's going to do that big burst, he's going to knock a second off this cooldown, so on and so on. However, as you can see here, during the ultimate, the number of basic attacks is reduced to just 2, so it's every other. When he deals damage, he's also going to deal extra damage equal to 30% of his current shield. Another reason you want to keep his shield there, strong, made of a lot of HP. Pretty good stuff. The final thing I want to talk about, there is a lot more in the kit, but it's this interesting thing here, Ice Burn. This is very clutch in mob-based content. When he ults, that first hit of the ult is going to hit 8 enemy targets, and to all enemies that are not elites and bosses, he's just going to chunk off 20% of their max HP. And anytime any one of those units dies that he hit with that original hit, as long as it's within 15 seconds, there's going to be a big burst of damage, hitting up to 5 enemies surrounding them with that big burst. It is very, very, very good. So he brings a lot more of a punch than I expected. He is very tanky. He maintains very good shield up time. He's a very cool unit. Another cool thing is he has nice awakenings, but not awakenings that you desperately need. So even at A0, he's going to impress a lot of people. So that's this banner. I think anyone who has a decent amount of summons should absolutely pity manipulate on this banner. And if you miss on the pity manipulation, then you go get your lucky pick and you have enough summons to go hit one more time. I absolutely would, because remember, your second legendary, if you didn't hit on the first legendary, you have an 85% chance you're going to get one of these two. 42.5% chance each. So that's very, very good. So should you summon for basically everyone? Yes. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Fastidious. If you have any extra questions, let me know in the comment section below. This was my 5th video today. Holy moly. Happy Christmas Eve. And if you're watching this tomorrow, Merry Christmas. Share with your mother, guys. Merry Christmas to your whole family, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.